to meditation today. My name is Elaine, and I will be guiding us in our visualization. So if you would like to just create a nice, quiet, comfortable environment for yourself to meditate in, close just whatever. And then go ahead and just find where you can be relaxed, whatever that means for you. You may be seated. Just make sure that you're, of course, and comfortable in whatever posture you find today. Now to gently bring the eyes closed. If you'd rather, you can maybe just soften the gaze downward, just gazing down toward the ground and okay, I'm sorry about that. We're gonna try. I got onto a different Wi-Fi network. We'll see if that one works. Hopefully it will. Yeah, hopefully I won't continue to get kicked out of my own meeting. Okay, so let's kind of start over again. My name's Elena. I'll lead you through our meditation today. So go ahead, get yourself comfortable, silence your cell phone, put away your computers, close doors, whatever it is that you need to do to just find a comfortable and quiet environment to meditate in. And we'll go ahead and just find a comfortable position as well, a position where you can be both relaxed and alert, whatever that means to you. And begin by just gently bringing the eyes closed. If you'd rather keep the eyes open, you're more than welcome to. And beginning to narrow our breath in and out through the nose. And just allowing the mind to take this time to draw focus to the breathing, to begin to feel calm and relaxed. Call it resting the mind on the breath. I like to imagine that my breath is kind of a soft pillow that my mind is sitting upon, and each time I inhale, it kind of comes up. Each time I exhale, it kind of goes down, and it's just really nice, comfortable place for my mind to rest as I prepare for my meditation. If the mind wanders away, just gently but firmly calling the mind back to the breath again, allowing it to rest there. While your mind is resting on your breath, I have a little story for you. So I listened to a webinar over the weekend, and the author Glennon Doyle was speaking. And she spoke of an episode of Survivor Man that she had watched recently. And Survivor Man was in trouble. he was lost in the woods. And he says the thing that you want to do if you're lost and you want to be found is to stay in one place. And if you are out in the woods and you need to survive, the thing that you need to do is go forage for food, find water, all those things. So staying in one place is not really plausible if you are lost in the woods. And so Survivor Man said, the thing that you need is a touch tree. So this is a tree that is big and glorious and beautiful, and that you can recognize, that you can come back to every day. So this is your touch tree. Imagine it sort of as a touch point so that you can wander through the day, find your food, find your water, and then you always know how to come back and how to find that exact same tree once again. And this increases your likelihood of being found. So Glennon continued, and she said that often when we don't know what to do, we go and we search outside of ourselves to find the answers. We look to our friends, we look to social media, we look to the news, we look to our teachers, perhaps our parents. We look to anybody that we imagine to be more educated, more wise than we are in this particular topic. And she said, the important thing is once we go and we look outside of ourselves to find those answers, that we need to have a touch point within ourselves that we can return to after we've looked outside. So we can take that information that we gather from outside and we can bring it back to our touch tree or our touch point within ourselves. And we need this point within ourselves so that we don't get lost within the jumble of information that we're gathering from the outside world, opinions, data, whatever it might be. So we need this touch point within ourselves so that we know that we are always returning and making our final decision based on our best and our truest self. So with that, I'd like to invite you to begin to visualize that you are in a forest. It's a lush, beautiful green forest. And right beside you is the tallest, grandest, most beautiful tree in all of the forest. This tree that is beside you here, this tree will be your touch tree. So say hello to it, really look at it, maybe touch the bark, hug the tree if you would like. Look at the branches, look at the height, and just kind of get to know this tree a little bit. And after we've spent a moment here getting to know our tree, we can now turn away. And off to the side, we see that there is something there. So we walk, and we walk, and it might be a very short journey, it might be a bit longer. We walk, and we collect this treasure, whatever it might be. We look it over, we get to know it, and If it's appropriate, we can bring it back with us. If it makes more sense to leave it there, we can leave it there. Now we make the journey back to our tree, back to our touch point. However long or short that walk might be, moving easily through the forest, coming and finally returning back to our touch tree, to our point of reference. Say hello to our familiar, comfortable tree that we know well. And now, off to another side, we see something else. And so we decide to make that journey. We decide to walk, however long a distance it might be a very quick journey, it might be a bit longer. We go traveling through the forest. There are other trees there, but none of them are our tree. Now we find the thing that it is that we were searching for. Maybe we pick it up and hold it in our hands. Maybe we leave it where it is and examine it there. We get to know it. We collect the information that we need from it and either leave it where it is or perhaps bring it back with us to the tree. Whatever makes the most sense for you. And we begin our journey back to the tree, making our way through the woods, passing again these other trees that are lovely and tall and unique. And none of them are our tree. So we continue our journey, making it back, finally to our touch tree, to that one unique, special tree in the forest that we have chosen as our own. Now at our tree, we pause for just a moment, just thinking about the information that we've gathered, the things that we've learned, the treasures that we've seen. And we look off to the distance, maybe in front of or behind us, and we see something else there. So we begin to travel, we begin to walk toward what we've seen. Again, making our journey through the forest, passing the other trees. And as we arrive, we see one last thing, one last treasure or gem, one last little part of the forest that has something to teach us. We begin to look and we begin to examine, begin to understand this thing that we've seen. After spending a moment with this treasure, either leaving it there or bringing it with us, we begin our journey back to our tree. And as we're making our way back, we begin to notice the many other trees around us. We begin to see how grand and beautiful they are. Maybe there are even some trees that appear taller or seem to have more branches than our tree. And we just notice the many other trees out there. Maybe begin to recognize the different individuals that each of those trees represent. And we continue our journey, not tarrying too long, looking at other trees, turning our focus back to our tree. Walking back through the forest, and we see it. We see our touch tree, our point of reference. And we return back to our tree, maybe placing a hand, touching the bark of the tree. And now at our tree, at our known spot, we take a moment just to think about the different things that we've seen, the different things that we've learned. And we recognize that this outside knowledge is very important. And without the use of our touch tree, without the use of our inner knowledge, we are unable to make the most of this outside knowledge that we've received. Pondering for a moment on the meaning of the things that we've learned and gathered today. Pondering for a moment on our touch tree, that point within ourselves that we can return to, that inner guide. And as we have our minds and hearts focused on that inner guide, we begin to bring ourselves back to this moment. Perhaps taking some deep breaths, maybe stretching the body, and slowly opening the eyes. Knowing that our touch tree is always there for us. It's always within us, that inner guide, that inner touch point. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you have a wonderful day.